Hey guys, so tonight in our small groups, what we're going to talk about is the relationship between science and faith, or another way to look at it would just be the science and the Bible. How did those two things meet? And this has been one of the most hotly contested debates for, the last 50 years or so. Really ever since science has taken off, where they've been able to tell how old fossils are, or tell how old certain soils and different things are, and they can say, well, the earth is actually really billions and billions of years old. And if you go on Netflix, there's all sorts of documentaries that talk about how old the earth is. And yet many churches for years have talked about, this young earth creation, where actually the earth is only 6,000 years old. And it creates all of these intense debates between Bill Nye the Science Guy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Bill Nye the Science Guy. When I was in school, he was like the guy we went to for science stuff. He's not really a scientist, but he's just kind of a TV personality. But he gets into a debate with this Christian who believes that the earth is 6,000 years old. It blows up on the internet. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone starts arguing. And whether you've had this question or not yourself, I can promise you at some point you're going to have to think about this. What do we do with all of the scientific research that comes out every single day that people claim refutes the existence of God? This is difficult. I've struggled with this. There's been many blogs I read that make me ask questions about my faith that maybe I didn't ask before, that we didn't talk about in college, that we didn't talk about in my church. And I'm glad that we're approaching the subject, and I'm curious to see how this goes in your small groups today. And I hope you guys have some interesting conversation. But I'll say this, and I think this is important. When it comes to science and the Bible, I think you have to think about it this way. The Bible is not a scientific textbook. The Bible was not written to answer all of our great scientific questions. It was not written to tell us how old the earth is. The Bible was written to tell us that God created all that is in existence. He created us. Once we were in the garden, we sinned, we were separated from Him. He, because of our separation, sent His Son to die on the cross for us so that we could live eternal life with Him. That is the story of the Bible. The Bible is not a scientific textbook. So here's how I want you to think about it. Science has to be submitted to God. So what science is doing is science is constantly trying to figure out how God's existence was created. The Bible, it cannot be put up against science because that was not why it was written. The people that wrote the Bible were not thinking about, well, hey, in 2019, they're going to be talking about aliens. They're going to be talking about how old the earth is. So we have to give them some, a little bit of preparation for how to prepare answers against science. No, that's not it. That's not the point. So what you have to do is you have to take a step back and breathe. Breathe for a second. You can even, I think what's exciting to me is you can look at science and you can say, that's exciting because it's just teaching me more about God. Teaching me more about how just unique, how creative He is. And science does not need to scare us. Science should excite us. And I'm curious, I want to know, what arguments have you heard? I'm sure you have maybe teachers that talk in class, science teachers that talk about different things, and maybe they've even brought up God and religion. And I'd be curious to know, what do you guys think? How does science relate to faith? What doubts have you had because of it? How have you been encouraged by the relationship between science and faith? And again, I'm not giving you complete answers, but I want you guys to be open to the fact that maybe, just maybe, the Bible does not need to refute science. So hopefully this is a great discussion. I'm excited. Hope it goes well. All right. Love you guys. Thank you.